this is weird because I'm on 2 devices. All right, but I'm live. So, hello everybody. And wait, how do I put this? This is such a weird thing. Okay, sorry. It's going to take me a minute to get situated. All right, so welcome everybody. I am just home from my trip to Canada, and I am in I'm in South Carolina, and today I wanted to talk about being the kindness of you with entities. I think it's a fascinating topic, and I just have this sense that there's such a different world available with us and entities. So for those of you who are interested in entities, excited about entities, this video is for you. I think that it's just a really beautiful world and a beautiful possibility, and that's really what I'm inviting you to. So for those of you who are watching this live, beware, this is an access consciousness based live, and this is a wonderful world that I would like to explore with you. So welcome. So entity education number 3, being the kindness of you with entities. So what is being the kindness of you with entities? Being the kindness of you with entities is really this place where you are acknowledging that you are different. And when you acknowledge that you're different, you really have this place where you can contribute in a totally different way. And how many of you have tried to see and realize how you are normal, average, real, and the same as everybody else with everything that you do? And so everything that allows you to think you are normal, average, real, and the same as everybody else, will you destroy it and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So with access consciousness and with talk to the entities, it's like there's a whole other world that's available. Now, why, if it's an amazing world and it's a wonderful world, why do most people not dedicate their lives to accessing that world? Because it is basically seen as crazy or nuts. You know the way that the old, like, inventors or painters or artists or those amazing people were thought to be like sort of crazy and nuts? It's sort of like that. It's like right now we live in an era that is very science-based. It's very based on empirical evidence, and it's not, I mean, to me, energy is empirical evidence, but energy isn't taught or considered to be a form of empirical evidence in the culture that we live in right now. Now, we've had many cultures through time that are based on energy and based on entities and entity positivity. I like to call it entity positivity. And basically just the acknowledgement of entities. And so it's like, when we live in a world where that is really shunned and really blocked out and really made wrong, it creates a place where we have these awarenesses, but we don't have anywhere to put them. So how many of you saw a ghost or saw some sort of being when you were little, or you felt something? I mean, when I was little, I really felt the beings of light around my crib. Or like it was this little bedroom that I had in Winnipeg. And then later on in life, when I was like 13 or 14, we had moved away from that house, but my grandparents kept it. And I was sleeping in that room again, and it's like I was surrounded by this mystical, magical energy. And that was actually the beings of light again. And I didn't realize that until after I read the Beings of Light book by Shannon O'Hara, that those entities, that energy that I was surrounded by was the beings of light. So what are the beings of light? The beings of light are these mega beings of consciousness that are so different, so massive, and completely dedicated to total kindness, total consciousness, and total greatness in the universe. That it's like they can't be stopped, they can only be received, and they can only be acknowledged. So everything you've been doing to disbelieve, to ignore, to stop yourself from receiving the great beings of light, will you destroy and uncreate that times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pod, poc, shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. And what I really want to do in this entity education series, and this entity education series is a series I started a few years ago, I think, and actually didn't do a lot with, and recently it started whispering to me again, continue the entity education series. So I did. But it's like the universe is so ever gifting and so ever present, and it's like we have no idea how supported we are. And everything in our culture is about the rightness of not receiving that support. It's about the rightness of giving, but not receiving. And in order to be more conscious and in order to be a greater being, you actually have to have contribution. But in Access, we have a different definition of contribution than you've probably heard before, or than the way that you probably think of it. Contribution is simultaneous gifting and receiving. So it's not just contribution as in gifting, the way that we see it. True contribution requires you to receive. So how many times when you're given a compliment do you go, oh, thank you, I got it on sale? Or, oh, this old thing, or, oh, well, there's this problem with it. And I used to do that all the time. And I actually talked to Gary Douglas, who's the guy who founded Access Consciousness. He's just a really beautiful man who has held my hand through life and helped me become greater. And he really, I went to him. I was at his house, and I told him that his picture he had this beautiful glass pitcher that was antique and it had these amazing designs on it. And I was like, Gary, that's such a beautiful picture. And he's like, yeah, I like to keep beautiful things in my life. That's why I have you around. And I was like, ugh. Like I couldn't receive it at all. And so I kind of sat with that, and I was like, I dismissed what he said. And I didn't like the energy that it created between him and I when I wasn't willing to receive his acknowledgement of me. And so I sat with that actually for a few months. I didn't say anything to him. And then a few months later, I asked him, Gary, I can't receive an acknowledgement from you. I can't receive, a gift from you. And he said, yeah, so just start practicing. And he's like, whenever somebody, and welcome everybody who's joining, whenever somebody compliments you or acknowledges you, he's like, just say thank you. He's like, whether you can receive it or not, just say thank you. So I had to start practicing, and it was not easy. I had to force myself to just say thank you without going into some diminishment of me that stopped my receiving. And when I stopped my receiving, when I wasn't just willing to say thank you and let it be, I was doing two things. Because I've noticed how this affects people now when they compliment me and I fully receive the compliment. two things could happen that I've noticed. Number one is they will also receive. Like, when I say thank you and I take that in, they become greater because I received their gift. And the other thing that happens is they become greater because I received their gift. The other thing that happens is they get weird because they're not willing to receive. They've never received in their whole life. They haven't received the acknowledgement or the greatness of their being. And so they have to go into question. They're like, well, why does Julia get to receive and I don't? Like, is Julia better than me? Is Julia arrogant? Is Julia like an alien? Like, it's very destabilizing when you are, because almost nobody receives. It's very destabilizing when nobody else is receiving but you are. It makes them question their reality. And sometimes they go into the wrongness of themselves and start to feel bad about themselves because they feel so much less than you are. But that's actually okay, because those who want to get strong at least have an example of what strong is. Okay? So everything that is, and everywhere you haven't been willing to get strong, will you destroy and create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povids, and beyond. The other day somebody said, Julia, you're wearing such a beautiful dress. And I was like, thank you. And then I went and did something, but like I let it in with my being, and they just went, whoa. And like they didn't say that, but you could just see their face just went, whoa. And it was really kind of a beautiful moment, but it's taken me quite a few years of me learning to receive how destabilizing my power of receiving can be to others. If that makes sense. So everything that your level of receiving was yesterday and every day before it and throughout all lifetimes, will you destroy and create that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. And everywhere you won't receive because you're a head person and you want to figure out, if I receive from that person, then what do I owe them? Like, that person complimented my dress. Did I owe them anything? No. But we have come to a decision that we do owe them something. Like, we have these social bank accounts, I guess, and we want to keep ours full, so we don't want to have to receive anything, so that we don't have to give anything that we feel obligated to give or we don't want to give. It's very intricate. We have these very intricate social contracts that most people don't even know are going on. And that's why I love access consciousnness, because access consciousness creates a level of social intelligence that is just off the charts. I have friends who are psychologists, and I'm a sociologist. I studied sociology, and it's like this is just such a deeper level of the social contracts that we have, and such a greater understanding of psychology. It's like it's the actual practical stuff that really matters, it's the theories that really matter, and then the application of those theories. It's a really fascinating world, and I've been doing this for a long time I've been doing access for 11 years, and I haven't stopped at all in those 11 years, because the practice of access consciousness, the art of access consciousness, and the learning about how to be kinder to people, and the learning of how to be kinder to myself is so important to me that it's like I'm so riveted by learning more and more, and it's not something that ends. I've had people say, Julie, like, when are you going to stop access? Like, when are you finished? When have you completed this course? You finish a PhD in 8 years. And so it's like, You finish a PhD in 8 years. It's like, when are you going to finish Access? But it's like, it's such a new field, and it's such a undefined field, that I feel like I'm a constant explorer of this new and very powerful field of the unseen that seems crazy to others, but then once you do this for long enough, you actually start to see it, receive it, perceive it, and live it. And what was a very, very distant possibility becomes like visceral. And that's a very powerful thing. And it's almost like, it's like a secret, because what becomes visceral to you and the way that you live your life is something that people who live in their brain and their academics or their wrongness of themselves, their rightness, their culture, their anything that is defined that they hold on to will limit this. And that's why Access is about always undefining yourself. So it's like those things are fun and they're amazing, and they're not something that people should necessarily give up, but they're something that people shouldn't stop at if they want the joy and the possibility of consciousness, the visceral consciousness. Yeah. So what does all of this have to do with entities? It's like, entities are, well, I really just wanted to give you guys that like conversation. And also thank you, Maria, for a comment about, oh wow, thank you for that, Julia. This is so my reality right now. Yeah. So it's like, I really wanted to have this conversation with you guys about gifting and receiving and its extreme importance. And gifting and receiving are equally as important, but we are actually taught to gift. But we can't truly gift without receiving, and most people don't know how to receive. So then we take this conversation that we've just had and we apply it to entity reality. And many people do not believe in ghosts or entities. Many do. Many do and pretend that they don't because they want to appear normal, which is also another choice. I know a lot of people who live very, very normal lives. And I love them and I respect them for their choice. There's beauty in everything. It's just, for me, the task for me is to receive as much beauty of the universe as possible, no matter what the cost. I mean, within reason. I mean, I'm not going to harm somebody, but I'm talking about no matter how weird I am, no matter how different I am, no matter what weird topic I have to explore. Oh, and Kat's saying hello, and Javon is saying hello. Hi, guys. No matter what I have to explore, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way. And I don't care what you think, and I don't care what you say. I used to care, but that actually, using the Access tools, has allowed that to go away, and more confidence, and just more, really, receiving my difference. How many of you know you're different, but you won't receive your difference, nor use your difference? And that's really what it's about for me, is using my difference. And that's not been easy for me. I have spent so much time pretending that I'm not different so as not to scare people. Because scaring people, it's uncomfortable. It's very socially uncomfortable until one day you don't care anymore and it's not. And then when you don't care anymore, people don't really react to you as uncomfortably because it's only kind of a springboard off of the discomfort. So I've spent a lot of years with that discomfort, and then it just goes away and goes away and goes away. And do I have it perfect? No. Sometimes certain things make me uncomfortable. When I'm around people who are extremely judgmental of themselves, of others, of whatever, sometimes I get tongue-tied because there's just nowhere to go in, like, every conversation that I have, I don't want to waste it, and I don't want to destroy with it. So it's like every conversation that I have, I want it to create something greater for people, for the earth, and for the universe. And so, so I don't want to use my interactions to destroy or create less. I want to use them for fun, laughter, like possibilities. And certain people in my life are willing to receive more of that than others. And the more that those people are willing to receive the greatness, the happiness, the laughter, the joy, the magic, it's like the more that I want to be around those people. It's like, have you ever noticed that you're more interested in being around people who receive more? Okay? So it's like, what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you be to create the fantastic, phenomenal, unreal, and unbelievable future that you truly could have? And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povids, and beyond. Yeah. So, now, we've talked about the difference. Now, the difference of talking to ghosts. The difference of talking to entities. Or as I like to call them, entitatum, because that's how you say entity in German, and I think it's hilarious. So, the difference of talking to entities / entitatum. And it's like, you've got to find what you don't want to plagiarize. Okay, and this is a new concept in Access right now. You don't want to plagiarize other people's realities. Like, if you are in a relationship with somebody, your parents will not like that person if they can't put their own reference points onto it. Or if you are, if you get a job that your parents don't like or can't define or don't understand, people will always try to just try to put you in a place where they can understand you. Otherwise, it's just like staring into the sun. It's very uncomfortable for people. And I've just spent so much time learning how to stare into the sun. Because I know if I can learn to stare into the sun for long enough, there's going to be something in there that I didn't know was in there. And then I get to have that and live that. But it's like, with entities, it's like, what gift and kindness can you be to the entities by claiming and owning your potency and your ability to talk to them? And your ability to work with them to create something greater. And it's like, I just see that so many people, have these great gifts, but they won't use them, they won't acknowledge them, and they won't live their life through and as these gifts because they just don't want to be that different. It's just too socially uncomfortable to be that different. So everything you are doing to be this normal, average, real, and the same as everybody else, rather than the difference and the greatness of you, will you destroy and uncreate that times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. And povids is something new that we've added to the clearing statement, and it stands for point of view that you are avoiding and defending. POVAD, point of view, avoiding, and defending. And it's based on the premise that if you are avoiding something and if you are defending it simultaneously, you are stuck in that area. You can't move. You become immobilized. So when you use the access consciousness clearing statement to clear the defending and clear the avoiding, you have this place where you can move in that area again. You have space in that area again. So use it, look it up, study it, and you will find that you have a different possibility available with it. Okay? So I'm going to wrap up here, but I really wanted to, I know that we didn't get too much into the actual specifics of entities, but I think that we had a really important conversation that is the groundwork to become great with entities, which is the deep importance of receiving as well as gifting. And what is receiving? How do you learn how to receive? If you do want to learn how to receive, this is probably my favorite book on receiving. It's called Divorceless Relationships. And it is basically an education on receiving. And it's really fun to read and really bizarro and really wonderful. So, not a boring book. I'll just say that. So, thank you for joining me for Entity Education number 3. I will see you in 2 days here again for Entity Education number 4. I forget what we're talking about, but we have another topic. And I also want to mention that I have a full Talk to the Entities intro night coming up later this week. Hopefully Maria or somebody can post the link. And I also have a full 8-part Talk to the Entities beginning telecall. So you're going to get like a 70-page manual and you're going to dive into the world of entities. It's online, it's on Zoom. It's a fascinating and amazing class. And so I invite you to play. I invite you into this brand new world of possibilities. And I will see you guys either there or in 2 days for our next live. So Maria has posted the link. She's amazing. And I will see you guys in 2 days. Thank you so much. Bye.